Hi, Leo. Welcome to a Tarotscope for the week beginning July 31st. This is Sagittarius Yogini. I'm going to pick a few cards, but before I do, I just want to call your attention to a couple of important transits for the next week. The first one is your new moon, and this is happening on August 4th at 12 degrees of Leo. So if you are in the degrees surrounding 12, and it might be like 3 degrees either way, 9 to 15 ish, and whatever the corresponding dates are, that is going to affect you the most. But of course, this is your new moon regardless. And this is a time to really look at what kind of things you would like to bring in for this solar cycle. There's so many different cycles when we talk about astrology and spirituality in general. And the way that I look at them, because sometimes I don't necessarily feel that they are going to magically produce certain things, but even symbolically, we can use these times like almost like a measuring stick or an excuse to create these intentions and then see how many come to fruition by that certain time frame of 12 months. So this can be new developments in your life as a whole as well. The other thing that's happening, which is the very next day, is that Mercury is retrograding in an adjacent sign to you, Virgo. And this is in your second house, and it will be going back into your first house in Leo at some point before going direct on the 28th. Actually, the date that it goes back into your sign is the 14th. So what can this mean? Well, when there's a retrograde from the second house to the first house, how I see it in terms of what Mercury represents is the way that you make money may depend on, in some cases, your persona. So an example would be somebody who's in sales. And if a Leo person is in sales, the question is, am I too pushy? Am I too, should I tone it down a little bit? What is it about the way that I communicate things that either helps or hinders my ability to make money? The second house can be self-esteem as well. And the first house is the self. So it's like with Mercury in the second house, what do I think about myself that affects my self-esteem? And in the first house, how do I communicate about myself? Or even like within myself, what do I say? What are those messages that I keep saying in my mind about myself? And you would think, and I do believe that a lot of Leo people are, possess high self-esteem, but there are people out there who, even Leos, who struggle with, valuing themselves. And this is one of the reasons why sometimes I think Leos come across the way that they do, because they're trying to maybe fake it until they make it, or make people seem, give people the idea that they really are confident when they feel quite insecure. I honestly believe that being on the spiritual path can cure that, because the false ego really is something that keeps people, ensnared in this what I think is really kind of a worldly concept of who we are. When we understand that we have a boundless nature, we don't just try to identify with temporary things. So, anyway, I didn't mean to go off into some kind of like a lecture. I'm a sun in Sagittarius, hence my username or my channel name, and I kind of tend to philosophize or pontificate sometimes. So let me pick some cards here. Wow, this is a really nice thing I've picked here. The theme for this week is the Eight of Wands. Perfect. Wands are fire energy. Things can suddenly seem to come to life, snap to attention. And part of this, I believe, is the Leo season for you. If your birthday is within this week, this may be the most apparent, or even, earlier in July, because it's like being awakened. When the sun is in the sign before you, it's like the hibernation period. So um, a lot of things could be coming at you at once, and it's up to you to kind of grab those opportunities as they present themselves. One thing to watch out for: Four of Cups. This is a sense of it's funny. I noticed on her shirt it says "over it," and she's got her arms folded, which you can see is kind of a refusal to accept what the cup offers, which is affection. What this means is that the Four of Cups is a card of dissatisfaction. So if somebody's in a relationship and they have fallen out of love with that person, now it doesn't mean that that person didn't totally precipitate that. Maybe they have just been doing one crappy thing after the other. But now the Leo person is like done. Or a job where you're just not feeling that enthusiasm anymore. So there's a lot of opportunities, and I think also the new moon could be representing that Eight of Wands, but you have to kind of get out of those emotional doldrums that may have developed from some kind of stagnation in your life that is now changing. What is coming in is the Emperor. This card is actually associated with Aries, so if this is a person that enters or re-enters your life, because during the Mercury retrograde, you may hear back from somebody that you haven't heard from in a while. But this is also about getting your house in order, getting your life in order, feeling more in control of your life. This is the kind of thing that we associate with solar returns, because the person is seeing the passage of time, and it's almost like your new year. So making those resolutions and trying to improve is just a natural byproduct of that. The outcome is the Six of Pentacles. This is a card of give and take. This can, the pentacles relate to earth energy, which can be financial, but it's, to me, just the energy itself that has to do with what you put in and what you get out. So if you're in a relationship and you're doing all of the heavy lifting, that's not satisfying. It's not about tit for tat. It's just about this sense that both people are, in it to win it. And you're going to attract these kinds of situations because you are kind of like making yourself a priority and making sure that you are not attracting one-sided types of relationships. You may be helping out somebody financially, or you may um, be helped. This can also be an inheritance card. So the Emperor can be the father. And, it's possible that that is where it comes from. If this is something that has been already, you know, put into motion, maybe you get help from this individual, or an Aries person. But yeah, it could be inheritance. And the woman is holding gifts in her hands. So sometimes there are people that are looking for assistance. But I feel like it's like once everything like gets put into motion, and then you're on. And maybe you need to shake off some of that stagnant energy that has made you feel kind of like unplugged or disinterested in what's going on, because Leo tends to be a very enthusiastic sign. So it takes a lot for you to get to the Four of Cups stage. So it's important to pay attention to any time when you don't feel enthused about something, because it's not your typical nature. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated, and if you would like a private reading, I will provide my contact information below. Thanks for watching. Bye.